With all due respect,
Try to live my life every day. Keep out of strife, come what may. I try to do unto others as I'd have them do to me. But it can't be done for everyone, and now it's plain to see. You are a cunt, 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 cunt. But if that's stinking cunt, say it ain't true, but he'll tell you you're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big bad stinking cunt. I try to be real nice, say it twice, be real nice, even though it is hard to keep up this facade. And now I see, dearie me, what a hassle this would be. I'm out of luck, don't give a fuck, cause you're the cunt, not me.
Why don't you go fuck yourself, dickhead?
You are a cunt, 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 cunt. Big fat stinking cunt. Say it ain't true, but he'll tell you you're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 cunt. Motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt.
with all due respect, the views and opinions expressed on Threatcon 5 clothing and Threatcon 5 radio are strictly the views of Threatcon 5 and do not reflect or represent the values of the Veteran Radio Syndicate. If you get offended by anything you hear on this show, please feel free to go fuck yourself. We thank you for listening.
Hey everybody, welcome to Threatcon 5 Radio here on Taco Tuesday evening. We were on a brief hiatus for a couple weeks, but we are back and excited. Except for Judy doesn't look excited. She looks completely fucking lost.
So? I mean, nuh-uh.
I am Bulldog, joined as always with my co-host and friend Judy. We get a lot to talk about tonight, boy, I'll tell you. It's going to be...
Absolutely.
It's going to be kind of a... I would say somewhat of an educational start to the show tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that. So, as I look into my romper-roo freaking little viewfinder, I see Dean Cerny is here, Glenn Estes is here, Jeff Jebby is here, Mickey Severson's here, Ronnie Brown, Lee Colvin, Amanda Melton, David Sy, Uncle Sy, John Kremmering, Mini-Me, John Widorf, Leighton Olson, Ross Golden. So basically, the freaking, the normal fucking... Oh, and Don Gay is here. So
the Cackle crew.
Again, the normal freaking crew of degenerates.
Ross Golden is calling you hate bronze, man.
Hey, that's not bronze. That's like straight up fucking sunburn. Okay, this is what happens when you work outside, putting up, clapboard and roofing and all this stuff. It's been I mean, it's great because the weather's been good, so I can't really complain.
Yeah,
but Jesus,
business is good, right?
It's wow. Has it?
And then you look at my image, and I'm the complete opposite because
you look like
my
a
camera.
ghost.
Yeah, exactly. My camera and my lighting is terrible because my actual camera died, so I'm using my laptop camera. So this is fucking horrible.
Oh, Jessica Fuller is here. I drove by you working today. Well, you should have beeped and said hi.
Did he had plumber's crack? That's probably why she didn't beep.
No, I don't have no plumber's crack. I will tell you though, every time I pick up like the table saw or whatever, and I'm it's kind of heavy. It's not a light saw, you know. So I pick it up,
Right.
and it kind of, you know, I kind of keep it at my waist and hold it up. And no, never fails. I make about 15 steps, and my pants start falling down.
Sweet.
I'm like, okay, this is great.
Yeah, right.
Right
Like-
out here on the right on here on the main road of Hillsborough, New Hampshire. Thank God there's only 6,000 people in the town. Yeah, it's been crazy. You know, a lot's been going on. We didn't have a show for the last couple weeks. The reason being is
Danya. Oh no. Can't do that.
2 weeks ago it was Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
And you know, we decided amongst the two of us that it made more sense to honor the men and women who unselfishly gave their lives in defense of our freedom.
Absolutely.
So, you know, in respect for our fallen brothers and sisters, we decided to go ahead and cancel the show. And then last week, honestly, I wasn't up to doing it. And
Yeah, of course. That's okay.
you know, we're going to talk a little bit about that, you know.
Yeah.
But boy, you know, so I had to go to the doctors this week. Well,
Yeah. Is that
I went to
scab
go
acting
see.
up
I
again?
went to go see a legal professional. You know,
Oh no.
you know, and boy, I will tell you, you know, when the doctor or the professional individual that tells you to
Who claims to be a doctor?
turn your head and cough,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, weirdest
I don't have
thing.
to do that.
Well, it's the weirdest thing because I thought it was called a confessional. You know, the priest. I was just like, okay. I mean, if this is how you do it, I mean, I know it's 2019. You know, I just thought I was a little
strange.
old. I thought I was a little old for them. You know, I mean, yeah, it's just it's crazy shit. But no, seriously, this past week has been it's had its ups and downs, and
Yeah.
you know, I want to kind of go a little bit out of order tonight for the reason of trying to look back at this past week and talk
Okay.
about things. So I'd like to jump right into our douche of the week.
Oh sweet.
And
Because I'm gonna get this bitch off my screen. Go ahead.
with that being said, okay,
Okay.
I'd like to do mine first so that you
Go
can
right ahead.
so that
Yes.
you can go ahead and, you know, you can change it up a little bit and you know, take the focus off this individual a little bit because there's going to be a lot of focus on him. So here
Really
is-
worse than mine.
here is this week's Bulldogs douche of the week, and it's me.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
I am undoubtedly the douche of the week.
Okay.
Why am I not showing up on the screen?
I see you.
Oh, okay.
I know
there
we're
I
on a delay, but
Yeah. Okay. So I am the douche of the week. And I'm not going to get into all the details of the reason why I'm the douche of the week. But I am going to put some stuff out there. And then I want to turn this into an educational issue. Okay? So I'm the douche of the week. And let me tell you why I'm the douche of the week. Last weekend, I had a very serious, life-changing event in my household. In which I told the love of my life, the woman that every man strives to find as their significant other, the woman that, you know, that wants to do things, that wants to travel with you, wants to help you build stuff, wants to be part of
totally
your,
supports your show.
yeah, totally supports every single aspect of your life. And you tell her to get the fuck out of your house. And you kick your lover, your friend, your best friend, your fiance, and her child to the streets. And it was the stupidest thing that I've ever done. Knowing what she has been through, to do that to her was probably worse than cheating, probably worse than, doing anything, because you can't tell somebody that's been pushed aside her entire life by everybody else in her life, and she trusts you and you do the same thing. So what I want to do with this is I want to turn this into a learning lesson, because this is something that we veterans, specifically ones that struggle with PTS and depression, anxiety issues, we tend to take a situation, okay, that perhaps isn't that big of a deal, and we immediately do something that starts the downward spiral.
Yep.
Okay? And over this past week, looking back at it and realizing that this is something that we, as veterans, both men and women, need to stop doing. Okay? We gotta stop taking small things and blowing them out of proportion. Okay? Because, in the midst of the fight of her, actually leaving, what do? Like a fucking idiot? Immediately go on Facebook, tell everybody that it's fucking over.
I did see that post.
Immediately changing my status to single. Immediately taking our picture down and changing it to just me. And it's part of the vicious cycle that leads us veterans into depression and turning to a bottle. Because probably wasn't anything that we couldn't have got past if I didn't say those 4 words. And it holds true for just about everybody else, because you see it all the time on Facebook. People saying things that they don't mean, but
Yep.
it doesn't change how hurtful those words are. Whether it's I fucking hate you, I want you out, I'm going to take my life, leave me alone, all these things. It just comes down to the start of the vicious cycle that leads to the most important thing that we do this show for. A veteran potentially taking their life. And we've got to do everything we can to start educating people enough to stop reacting that way, because there's always time to take a step back and realize that things aren't necessarily that bad. Things are not irreversible.
Right.
You can fix them. And I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm gonna keep a lot of what's going on off of Facebook, and I'm gonna keep it out of the public eye, because honestly, I can hear Tuffy freaking purring in the freaking microphone.
He was smelling my face like, I love you, mommy, and rubbing on me.
Okay, so all right, so I just saw the comment across the screen. Glenn Estes says Kendra Kent unfriended me. Kendra unfriended every mutual friend. And don't take it personally. She did it because somebody, I don't know who, decided that it was a good idea to start messaging her. And it wasn't the time. Okay? She didn't want to deal with it. She didn't want to have people messaging her, regardless of for what reason they were doing it or whatever. So, you know what? It is what it is. Don't take it personally, okay? Now, lastly, Kendra is my soulmate. Kendra is the love of my life, okay? And if I work it out, which I'm certain I will because I'm not giving up, that's going to be up between me and her to figure out. Okay? And, this is just something we need to do alone, and we don't need anybody to...
you don't need outside influences.
Yeah, we just...
in any direction.
Yeah. So it's not a personal thing. It's just one of those things that we're gonna deal with on our own, and that's how it is. Okay, so
Tuffy's here for you, man.
yeah, so that's that. I fully admit that I made a huge mistake.
That's really cool, though, that you're calling yourself the douche of the week and just throwing it out there. You know, I mean, I think one of the biggest contributors to our own downfall is the fact that we can't admit when we're wrong. And you know, anytime you deal with adversity and you can say, you can find your part of it and own it, you learn something from it and you grow from it. So I think it's really cool that you did that, and
Exactly.
I think it's awesome that you set the example as well.
Well, I think that what it comes down to is I just want people to know that no matter how rough things are, no matter how tough things get in your life, whether it be relationships or money or job or whatever, you know what? There's always the other side, you know, and your attitude, the approach that you take to remedy the situation is going to dictate how it turns out for you. You know, we certainly have the ability to, you know, take control of our lives and realize that you just keep pushing forward and you don't give up, and you're going to be able to overcome whatever obstacle is in front of you. And, you know, it is what it is. Okay.
Yeah. And like Sai said, lead by example. You know, I think I have seen a small handful of veterans kind of posting recently, you know, they're not doing well, but they're also kind of sharing their half of the responsibility of whatever's going on in their in their life. So, you know, like I said, that leads to huge personal growth, and I think just as importantly is other people will see that it's okay to look in the mirror and go, wow, you really fucked up today.
Hey. And you know, and the thing is that you look at it, right, and what you're saying is that, and you said it a couple different times in a couple different ways. The first thing with dealing with any type of hurt or whatever is not denying it. You know, is accepting it, accepting your wrongdoings, accepting responsibility for your actions. And taking the positive steps to remedy the situation, whether it be remedying yourself, maybe realizing that dumping that bottle out and turning to water, or instead of turning to the bottle, turn to a brother or a sister. Taking the necessary actions to realize that even though you may have suffered at the hand of someone else, that there's always two roles in any situation, and somehow, some way, there is something you could have done differently to ensure a more positive outcome. So, you know, it's like I said, you know, we're gonna take this and we're gonna learn from it, and we're gonna use it as an educational tool so that people can understand that, you know, no matter how many times you find yourself walking down the path and stumbling, it doesn't matter how many times you fall.
Right.
You know, we did a shirt about that, remember? You know, it's the warrior. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up and dust yourself off and continue down that path. You know,
and sometimes it takes longer than other times to do that, but you're absolutely right.
There's always a way, you know, and I'm going to tell you, there's some people in here that I'm going to thank. You know, one of them I know is not going to hear it, but my boss. You know, my boss, the night that we got into the fight, he saw my post and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sitting here and I'm upset." And you know what? He drove his ass over here and stayed with me for a good portion of the night until I felt I didn't need him here anymore.
That's awesome.
David
That's
Ron,
I'm glad that you have that.
Uncle Si, Dean Cerny, our sponsor Felix Irving, called me just about every single day.
I love him.
You know, yeah, he's a great guy. But there was so many of you that reached out. Glenn, you know, once you figured out how to use the fucking push dial phone, you know, you were able to freaking call me and check in on me. That was awesome. I know it was kind of hard without the big ass fucking rocks with numbers on it, but yeah. So, but no, in all seriousness, this is something that we can all learn from. You know, I had Michael Meredith called me, and the first thing he said to me was, "Dude, what the fuck? You guys have the relationship that everybody looks towards and is like, I want that. You're not going to throw that the fuck away." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to throw it away." He goes, "Well, what happened?" And I kind of broke it down to him, and he's like, "Dude, you're a douche." I was like, "Yeah, I know. I'm actually going to be the douche of the week next week." All right, so Joe Cayley said, "I just had leg surgery, and I have to take the hardcore meds soon. Let's get on with the funny shit."
Oh my God, that's great.
All right,
Hey.
hey, you know what, Joe? I love you to death, brother, but you know, sometimes it's important to talk about the serious stuff.
It is. And you know what? I was on hardcore meds 1 week for this show. I wasn't on the air, but I was on meds, and I listened as much as I possibly could. It's actually more entertaining than it normally is when you do that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and Oh, so I just saw Valerie Adams in here, and Valerie, I know you saw the notification you got for I sent your N22 shirt, and you're probably wondering where your hat is. When the stitching was going into the side of the hat, it pulled and it kind of stretched it, so I had to order another one, and it'll probably be in the mail within a day or two. So that's what's holding the hat up. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, but anyway, so now you know. Okay, so Judy, it's time for your douche of the week, so let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to want to breeze through this real quick, because she makes me want to throw up in my mouth a lot. Is her picture up?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this fucking bitch. So the story's a little old, but her information and her picture just got released last week on Thursday, June 6th. A nursery manager who boasted about her sexual interest in children in an internet chat room where child sex abuse was shown has been named. So she was arrested in September of 2017, but of course, because it involved minors and there was an investigation, we weren't allowed to know who it was. We just got some news back then that was as vague as it possibly could have been, so as not to ruin the evidence in the investigation. This bitch's name is Allison. I think it's Wadley, whatever. Fucking cunt. 44. She was caught by an undercover officer. And if I knew who that guy was, he'd be my hero of the week. I gotta tell you, that guy probably needs some serious.
Hey, keep talking about this. I'll be right back.
Okay. This guy probably needs to, like a lot of combat veterans, probably needs some serious psychological help because of the things that he has to pretend that he enjoys when he's online in these god-awful chat rooms. But this bitch admitted that babies, she thinks they're so fucking sexy. Of course, they have the F, blanked out a little bit. Now, this woman was actually arrested in the UK and southwest of London. And the reason, normally we pick people from over on this side of the pond, but this is an indicator. Her case is an indicator of a much larger problem. There are international stings that happen to catch people doing this kind of shit. But for someone to sit in a chat like that and so easily talk about how she's attracted to abusing small children, she posted videos herself. Yeah, I hope she
She's definitely a douche of the week. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and my story, Bulldog, and a lot of our listeners know my story as well. I'm a child sex abuse survivor after 4 years between the time I was 8 and I was 12. So, the special place in hell for her is I get to poke her with the hot poker or whatever it is that I need to do on a daily basis when I make it there.
Awesome. All right. Go right into your
So my
hero of the
hero of the week, this guy, I love this. So this gentleman's name is Donald Wood. He is a truck driver from ABF Freight, and he is from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Now, there's a couple reasons I wanted to talk about this guy. Not in any particular order. Number one, we spend a lot of time making fun of truck drivers from specific companies, and they get a bad rap. Swift. They get a bad rap. Not all of them are bad people, just like any other walk of life. That lady that was my douche of the week, she was a nurse. Not every nurse is like that. So the reason that Mr. Wood is my hero of the week is because he has been named a highway angel by the Truckload Carriers Association because he helped an elderly man whose vehicle went off the road during a blinding snowstorm. So this was January 12th in Liberal, Kansas, which I'm sure they want to change their names, where the roads were closed with temperatures around 18 degrees. He pulled his truck into a motel parking lot, and as he was getting ready to shut down and get a room, he noticed that there was a vehicle with headlights on in the snow about 100 yards away. Now, these are whiteout conditions, so I'm willing to bet he probably only saw headlights. He got out of his truck and risked his own life to cross the road and go over to the pickup truck where he found an elderly man with his dog. And he said his quote was, "He was so happy to see me. He said he didn't know where he was and that he was afraid he'd freeze to death out there." I mean, just that statement right there knows that that's how exactly that story would have ended had Donald not stopped. He found a broken shovel at the motel and worked for more than an hour to get the truck out of the snow and directed the man to the motel's parking lot so he could go inside and warm up.
Wow.
Yeah. This guy risked his own life in whiteout and sub-freezing conditions. One of the other reasons I wanted to point this out is, Bulldog, I was in an accident a couple years ago, and everybody kept driving just because I was standing next to my car. When you're in shock and you've been injured from an accident or something like this guy was, you don't know if you're hurt or not, or if you're in danger or whatever. And I'm really disgusted at how many times I've seen an accident where people have kept driving and I'm the only one who stopped because I wanted to make sure that this person was fine.
Yeah.
So this guy is my hero for a lot of reasons. Like I said, it's pretty cool that he was willing to risk his own life and go out there and do it. He seems like a great guy, just very humble about what he did. I read a few articles about him. So to Mr. Donald Wood, you're my hero of the week.
Well, and I'll tell you that, you bring up a good point about the people just driving by and stuff like that, right?
So aggravating.
A couple weeks ago, I was driving down a road, and there was a guy on the side of the road with his hood up, and he was an older guy, so I was like, well, fuck this. I'm turning around, and I'm going to go help the guy, right? And, I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, I started overheating, this and that, and so I'm like, well, there's a river right there. I said, do you have something we could put some water in? I'll get some water in. We'll put it in.
Yeah.
It was the reservoir type delivery. So, so I looked through my vehicle and I couldn't find anything. And we're going to get to that in a second because it's quite comical.
Awesome.
So I looked across the street on the side of the road and I actually found an empty water bottle. And the cars driving by, hey, do you have a water bottle? And the guy's like, yeah, here. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. So I kept going back and forth, and he would walk over, and I'd throw the bottle up to him. He'd go fill it and, bring it back and throw it down to me. Well, at one point, I looked up, and he's holding his chest.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, oh my
No.
God. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, oh yeah, I just, I get bad lungs and it
I just had
burns.
open heart surgery 2
Right?
days ago.
So I'm like, Jesus. So I ended up freaking, just said screw it. And I walked down the freaking hill to the water, get the water, walked it back up. Well, it was a steep hill. I had to like grab tree branches to pull myself up. And,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I ended up falling and like tearing my fingernail a little bit, and it was not the big deal. But what pissed me off is at one point
It
I'm
messed up your fresh manicure.
no, I'm pouring water into his reservoir, and a fucking tow truck drives by. I'm like,
What the?
how can you just drive by? There's a guy on the side of
Because
the
tow
road.
truck drivers are cunts.
Yeah, apparently.
They're out for the money.
Apparently.
Not all of them.
Yeah, I was
but a
just
good-
like, wow, this is something else.
That guy probably made enough money off his last stop that he could have afforded to stop for you guys. That's ridiculous.
Probably, but whatever. He ended up making it back, and that's all that mattered. So,
Yeah.
I want to bring a new segment to the show
Uh-oh.
tonight. This is one that we haven't even we really haven't even talked about yet. So I want to talk about some things that are currently in the news. Just to give people a heads up as to what's going on today. If you didn't hear, a 8-seat twin-engine helicopter pilot was killed when he crashed his helicopter into the roof of a Manhattan building, and it burnt into flames. That was pretty fucked up. Happened today at about 2:20. I don't know if you heard that one, Judy.
I was on lunch break, and Cy posted helicopter down in New York, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Right?
I got
Yeah.
my news sources.
Kellen Winslow II was found guilty on 3 charges, including rape. Indecent exposure was another one. I don't know what the other one was. Former NFL player. If you didn't hear, Big Papi David Ortiz was shot in Dominican Republic yesterday. Just out of the blue. Guy showed up in the bar, fucking shot him point blank in the back. He had the bullet go through out his stomach and actually shot another person. But David Ortiz is in stable condition. That's good. He's an icon in baseball, but he had to have a portion of his intestines, gallbladder, colon, and I think part of his liver, removed due to the organ issue. So that's, definitely given, some props to him. I hope he recovers fine from it. Another big news story that has been out here the last couple days, and I find it quite comical. We talk on this show all the time about the love-hate relationship that America has with our politicians. And, President Trump saying that he's going to put tariffs on Mexico if they don't do something to stop the illegal migration of individuals through the border. And, of course, the Democrats lose their minds, telling them there's no way you can do such a thing, and that's disastrous. You're
And
ruining.
Trump's all, watch me, bitches.
And guess what? Another fucking win. It worked for him again, and Mexico has activated troops to go to the border to help with the migration. So,
It starts at their borders.
I find it so comical that it's like the Democrats are just trying to make Donald Trump the 46th president as well. I mean, let's start off by just making it completely crazy to think that Kamala Harris or Spartacus or fucking any of these fucking ding-dongs has got a chance of actually beating him. Now we're going to just fight everything he does and then look stupid when it works.
Aren't there like 45 people running by now?
Oh, you can't keep up with it. You got Pocahontas, you got Spartacus, you got Prostitute.
Oh my God.
You got people that are in this race that I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I think I'm gonna run for president today. Oh, okay.
Okay. So you know what's funny about that? You know, like people are like, "Oh, you never heard of so and so, and they're running." You know, we read a lot of political news just so we can talk to you guys about this shit when we're on the air. So we should know these people that we've never heard of.
Yeah, it's just fucking crazy. This is the stuff that you read day in and day out. Like um the shit. How is it? All the papers in New York writing that. Oh, well, I don't know why President Trump is visiting Britain. No one likes him there. And then you see a video of them cheering, "We love Trump! We love Trump! We love Trump!"
I
You're like,
totally
oh
missed
yeah,
that. That's
nobody likes him there. Nobody at all.
Who cares?
Right? I mean, come on.
Yes,
You've got
don't
this thing
don't
where
do your
you
diplomatic duty and go to the UK. You know, don't do that
right?
because
They're
they don't
trying so
whatever.
hard to make him look bad, and they make themselves look bad in the first place. So it's like, okay, yeah, I should really read your paper because everything you say is so accurate. Jesus, and it's funny as fuck too. You've got you've got the latest now. You've got Representative Dan Crenshaw is doing a push with two other veterans in the Senate, saying that we need more veterans to run for office. And
Absolutely.
it's like, yeah, I mean, what would you rather have? A veteran? I mean, I don't care if they were in the Air Force or a fucking cook in the Army. I mean,
Right.
for Christ's sakes, it's the same fucking thing. Well, no, probably not. The cook's probably got more experience. But anyway, so
Yeah,
seriously
because
though,
cooks can be MPs in a pinch.
yeah, right. So you got the idea of having all these veterans, running for office, and it's not a bad thing. But I mean, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a veteran that at least has some diplomatic freaking foreign policy idea, having been in other countries, or somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez that is
Who's a
better suited
bartender.
to stand behind a bar and mix me a fucking
Mai Tai.
Mai Tai, right? It's like, fuck. I don't know. I'm still up in the air.
I'm right there with you, man.
I'm thinking that I'd like to run, but I keep going back and forth. I'm like, what do I want to do? Do I want to just start like at the local level and hit up like maybe selectmen or run for a local Senate position, or do I want to just go for it and run against Annie Custer or maybe run for New Hampshire governor? I mean, what do I want to do? I don't know. I gotta get a dartboard or some darts and just throw it up
Eeny,
against the
meeny,
wall and
miny.
be like, okay, here we go.
So I just that made me think of one of my favorite stupid funny commercials. Do you remember the commercial from Zeus with the girl that dates the guy that plays darts? It's
No.
several years old.
No, I don't ever remember seeing that.
Oh, darts, is that a real sport? He's like, I don't know. Is this a real sponsor?
Jesus, that's funny. Yeah, right. Dean says it's all good until they watch previous shows.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Hey, I don't have anything to hide. I really don't give a shit. What are they gonna do? Hey, did you or did you not make fun of Boo on your radio show? And I'd be like, oh, you goddamn right, I did. You're right,
Right.
I did. I made fun of him. Would you like to try a Slurpee?
You know,
I don't give a shit because you know what? Political correctness is ruining this fucking country. Okay? We never had half of the
Wait,
fucking
wait, wait.
issues.
Look at the shirt I'm wearing.
Fuck political correctness.
It doesn't just say fuck, it actually has a message.
I mean, and there's so much that I look at that I'm like, can we seriously be entertaining this as Americans right now? You've got the Democrats that in the matter of 2 weeks took down the what the fuck sign did they take down?
I'm not following. I don't know.
They took some sign down that had stood for like 100 years. God bless America or something like that, right? and then they basically took it as their freaking their 2020 freaking goal was going to be, we're going to allow illegal immigrants to vote in our elections. And then they went even further and said, hey, you know what? We need a pay raise. We need to get $4,500 more a year than we do now. Hold the fuck up there, Joe. Let me just make something clear to you. As your fucking boss, you haven't deserved a fucking pay raise in, I don't know, 120 fucking years.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm thinking of docking your pay. But how is anybody, I don't care if you are a diehard fucking liberal, how do you think in your mind of, I mean, you're how can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh yes, I think Bernie Sanders deserves to get paid more of my taxpayer money? Yes. Well then there, Mr. Libtard, here's what you should do. Reach down there into that fucking wallet of yours and just pull out your own cash, because my money should not be getting spent on some jackhole who thinks that cow fart should be fucking voided in order to get rid of climate change. You know, let's just get rid of airplanes because we can take trains across the ocean to Europe. Jesus, now you have to go the long way, so you have to go up through the Arctic Circle and then back down, so it's going to take you approximately, I don't know,
11
3 fucking turns of the sun.
That's great. Oh, shit.
Jesus, I mean, seriously, you can't fucking make this shit up. These people are fucking ass backwards to believe, we just voted to allow illegal immigrants to get driver's licenses. And we just voted to get illegal immigrants to allow them to vote in our next election. Oh, yeah, we need a pay raise.
Yeah.
What?
We haven't accomplished anything except, that whole collusion bullshit.
Speaking of which, thank you for reminding me. So we are proudly brought to you by the good man, Felix Irving, over at beardbqsauce.com. which has amazing barbecue sauce, rubs, and just incredible stuff to help you with your summer barbecuing. If you don't believe me, ask Amanda Melton. Check the stuff out. Go to beardbqsauce.com, beardbqsauce.com, where pretty soon you're going to be able to find Threatcon 5 on the Threatcon 5 site, Beard BQ Sauce shirts. We're gonna be collaborating on that stuff. Also,
we're gonna be collaborating and listening.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Are we gonna be back with a brand new edition?
Yes, we are. Yes. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Bulldog is back with a brand new edition.
Brand new edition.
All right. Also, if go over and check out. Go over and check out. Stop the commercial. You shut the hell up, Chester Layton. We do what we want.
Yeah.
Go to threatcon5clothing.com. Use coupon code grenade. Save yourself 10%, or you can use one of my many freaking brand ambassadors codes to save 10%. But that's up for them to tell you, not me.
Judy might have one.
But yeah, check it out. Get your Russian collusion. I survived the Russian collusion hoax T-shirt, the N22 T-shirt.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, you can get some really cool stuff from Threatcon 5 Clothing and BeardBQSauce.com. And just to let you know, our other sponsor, that will remain unnamed until they come back, will be back. Okay, they will be back. But yeah, there's a lot of good things going out there now. Chester Layton, I don't know what you mean by money, but if you don't know, Threatcon 5 Clothing gives almost all the money back to veteran organizations or veterans that are in need of help. So
yeah, unlike other clothing companies that pocket that money and live on the high horse, Bulldog takes it all and dumps it into charitable events and people who might need a little extra help.
Okay. So before we move much further into the show, we still have our top 10 to do, and we have news that we have to do. Chester Layton says, "Do you have 'I Survived the Show' shirts?" We should do that. I was a top fan of Threatcon 5 radio.
Yeah! Oh, I love that!
Yep.
Make it happen. Write it down so you don't forget.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. So the Memorial Day weekend, we traveled down to Virginia, to Portsmouth, Virginia, where we visited the good people at N22. I got to meet finally Ashley Butler. I got to meet our good friend Lee Colvin. Yep. So that was certainly fucking amazing. It was great to go down there and meet people and see such a good group of people doing good things to help take a bite out of our
I'm sorry. Amanda Melton says her shirt ideas. I was a fan of top fan of T5 radio, and all I got was a stupid shirt.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I love her.
That
She's
is
fantastic.
a really good one. So if you go over to beardbqsauce.com and use promo code DAD, you'll save 20% on all your orders over $40.
Because what dad doesn't need good barbecue sauce, and he needs to have his meat rubbed.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on into our top 10. So our top 10 this week is...
Let me grab it. Go ahead. You get started.
What's that?
I said, let me grab it. You get started.
I haven't even brought it up yet. Don't tell me what to do.
You're not the boss of me.
Shut up, stupid. I got to bring it up, too. So this week's top 10, though, is...
Oh, my God. My internet is slow AF.
Yeah, well, it's going to be quite interesting because we're actually going to talk about firsts in history accomplished by women.
Not all great.
The first woman to wash dishes, the first woman to
make a sandwich.
It's
sandwich, Bulldog.
Judy, I saw the funniest fucking sandwich meme the other day.
Oh, no.
Yes, I've never seen it before, so don't hate on me because I'm sure a lot of people have seen this one before. It was a fucking architect. She was holding out the fucking blueprints.
Oh, I saw that. It's fucking awesome.
And the second part of it was like the bread, the meat. I was like, oh,
it was the layout
that's
of how
good.
it was the schematic of how to make a sandwich.
Yep, how to make a sandwich.
Oh, that's
Get back
fantastic.
in the kitchen, biatch. No, I'm just kidding. That's fucked up. All right, so Judy.
Yeah, Bull.
Judy,
Yeah,
why'd
Bull.
you freeze?
Oh, fucking fuckity fuck.
Why'd you freeze, Judy?
Because it's cold in here?
Oh, what the fuck? There we go. There we go. You're not frozen anymore.
Let me
Why
guess
do you
I was
always
frozen
freeze
with
in the
stupid
stupidest
face.
fucking positions?
What your name is?
All right, so let's start. Number 10, because I'm sure you don't have your shit open yet. Anne Hodges. On the afternoon of November 30th, 1954, Anne Hodges was taking a nap in her Sylacauga, Alabama. Roll Tide. She received quite a rude awakening as a chunk of rock about the size of a grapefruit crashed through the roof of her home, bounced off a console radio, hit her in the thigh. Therefore, she became the first and so far the only recorded victim of a meteorite. Fortunately for Hodges, the space rock hit her on the rebound, so aside from a giant bruise, she was physically fine. What they don't say is like 4 months later, she developed these superpowers. However, she was greatly affected by the media frenzy that followed, which eventually caused her to have a mental breakdown and ended her marriage.
Oh.
In the immediate aftermath, though, people were more concerned with who owned the meteorite. The Sylacauga,
Yeah,
what the fuck, I don't care. Police chief was the first to claim possession and turned it over to the Air Force. Good thing, because fucking, like, I don't know, 9 years earlier, it would have been the Army's. However, once it was determined to genuinely be a meteorite and not part of some crashed plane, the Air Force returned it to Hodges. However, as Anne and her husband Eugene rented their home, their landlady now claimed it as hers.
She's a cunt.
She has a widow named Bertie Guy who argued that the rock belonged to her because it landed on her property. Oh, she was a widow. Never mind. The two sides went to court. Guy surrendered her claim to ownership in exchange for $500. The
Whoa.
Hodges were banking on recouping their losses and then some by selling the meteorite. Unfortunately, over a year had passed before it was resolved and the world moved on. There was no interest, and eventually the Hodges donated the rock to the Alabama Museum of Natural History.
So all that fanfare ended in womp womp.
Yep. That's got to be something else, though. Hey, no one else in history's ever been hit by a meteorite. Yeah, and you almost lost your marriage because all the fucking media attention you were getting, you stopped making fucking sandwiches.
Right. I think it's funny that how many people were fighting over whose property it was.
Yeah. I mean, if you get hit by a fucking meteorite, just let the motherfucker have it. You know, I mean, that's just kind of wrong. No, it's mine. It broke my roof. It's mine. Moving right along. Let's do it.
It's the Air Forces. We don't know who it is. Cynisca of Sparta. I'm curious as to why she's on this list. Born circa 440 BCE, Cynisca was the daughter of Archidamus II, king of Sparta. Like other Spartan women, she was encouraged.
This is Sparta.
By the way, this story does not involve any modern-day politicians who claim themselves to be Spartacus. She was encouraged to take an active role in physical activities more so than women in any other Greek societies. Therefore, she took up equestrianism and became the first woman to win at the Olympic Games. Her accomplishment is known to us courtesy of Greek traveler and historian Pausanias.
That was also the guy that told of the 300.
He wrote descriptions of Greece, which details his first-hand observations and experiences of the ancient world. She competed at the Olympiads in four-horse chariot races. She won at the 396 and 392 BCE events.
And if you don't know, that's why that they go backwards is because it was before Christ. All right, so before Jesus aged Christ, she won the 396 and the 392. So
doesn't the H stand for Horatio?
Yes, Horatio. Jesus Horatio.
She did it as a trainer and as a breeder, not as a racer. Women in Spartan society were provided more liberties, but they were far from equal citizens. Even as a princess, she was not allowed to participate in the events, nor was she permitted to take part in the winner's ceremony.
Wow. So 300 fucking lied. The movie 300 lied. Because they said that women give birth to real men. Therefore, they lied.
They totally lied. They did have two monuments erected to commemorate her victories.
You said erected.
I totally said erected. Was that like the first historical recording of sexism?
I don't know, but I gotta say though, if they have two fucking erected statues of her, why is there a cartoon drawing of her on the fucking top 10 list?
Yeah, seriously, why are we not looking at a statue? Well, it's probably.
I don't know. Number 8, Annie Edson Taylor. When Annie Edson Taylor achieved her claim to fame at the beginning of the 20th century, she was a widow and an unemployed school teacher in her 60s. She didn't exactly fit the image of a daredevil. Yet, she became the first person to go out of Niagara Falls in a barrel and survive. Let me tell you, that doesn't make her a fucking first in history. It just makes her a fucking idiot that fucking tried something and got lucky.
She was the first person to be that stupid.
No, it says right here, she was the first person to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel and survive. She didn't say she was the first one that did it. You know,
she was the first one to dumb enough to do it and tell about it later.
Right? Taylor considered the feat a good way to make money. Okay. There was a thing called prostitution back then, I think. Stunts at Niagara were all the rage back then. In fact, she was not the first to jump into the river and make it out alive. Sam Patch, also known as the Yankee Leaper, did it in 1829. However, he dived into the river near the base of the falls from an elevated platform. He didn't exactly or actually go into the waterfall. Annie Taylor took the plunge on October 24th, 1901, on her 63rd birthday. She could have broke a hip.
I know, seriously.
She had a sturdy barrel constructed out of oak and iron and lined with cushions to soften the ride.
I'm sure that'll fix it.
A boat towed her to the middle of the river and then just let the barrel go. The rapids propelled Taylor over Horseshoe Falls, the largest of the 3 waterfalls at the site. The whole journey lasted about 20 minutes. When the barrel was recovered, she was battered, bruised, and had a cut on her head, but otherwise uninjured. Unfortunately, Taylor's stunt did not bring the windfall that she had envisioned. She made some money giving interviews and posing for photographs, but had to spend most of it on private investigators when her manager ran off with her savings and her barrel.
Bastard. Ashley Moon Butler says, "Hold my beer, ladies edition."
Joe Cali said, "No Aflac back in 1901.
Aflac. I've been to Niagara Falls several times, and I think it's fascinating when I look at those falls that anybody would look at that and think, you know what? I should get in this piece of shit barrel, put some padding inside of it, and just fucking go for it and go over it. Number 7, Alaska Davidson. Alaska Packard Davidson's time in law enforcement was short, but enough to make a mark on history. On October 11th, 1922, she became the first female FBI agent. Strictly speaking, back then, it was still known as the Bureau of Investigation, or the BOI. Yeah, boy! Under the leadership of William J. Burns, a former private investigator dubbed America's Sherlock Holmes. Mm-hmm. The Bureau's main concern at that time was the Mann Act, or the White Slave Traffic Act, passed in 1910. Officials...
How come nobody talks about that shit, huh? I want white reparations.
Boy officials felt that female agents could provide useful in working such cases. Alaska Davidson was hired by the boy when she was 54. Although there are no records of her specific assignments, she was considered very refined and too proper of a lady to work the more sordid cases. 2 other women, Jessie Duckstein and Lenore Houston, were hired in subsequent years. The boy's reputation took a severe hit following multiple controversies and allegations of corruption, most notable being the Teapot Dome scandal. Burns stepped down, and in 1924, J. Edgar Hoover became the new director. Hoover's first mission was to streamline the department and get rid of unnecessary agents. Alaska Davidson was on the chopping block, as was Duckstein. Both women turned in their resignations in 1924. Lenore Houston, an agent actually hired by Hoover, lasted until 1928. 2 years later, she was in a mental institution in a delusional state, threatening to shoot Hoover if she would ever be released.
In another news, she never got released. Now, I'm going to tell you...
She died there.
I'm going to tell you that this has motivated me to build a time machine.
Uh-oh.
Okay? I am going to go back to 1924.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, let me take that back. I'm going to go back a few years earlier, okay? I'm going to go back to 1922, okay? And I'm going to find Miss Jessie Duckstein and Lenore Houston and Alaska Davidson, if that's even her real name. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say, listen, ladies, I know that you thought you were going to make a lot of money, okay, as boy agents, but you are sitting on a fucking gold mine right now. Do you realize you got hired into an organization called the Bureau of Investigation that they so aptly name Boy. You should be offended. It works in 2019. You should try it now.
Dwayne Wireman says he just wants to go back to when yard darts were legal.
Okay. I don't know about this
They
one.
used to throw those at each other.
I don't know about this one. Number 6, Alice Guy Blache. Or Blache, I don't fucking know. It's some French shit. You know nobody likes the French. When film was first created, people initially used it to record occurrences in their everyday life. The most famous example was the movie which depicted the arrival of the train. According to the urban legend, this frightened some viewers who ran to get out of the way. Oh, okay. It took a few years before people realized the movies could be used to tell a story. So you're telling me that somebody was watching fucking a train on a fucking movie screen and ran to get out of the way? Where were they from? Fucking Tennessee? This led to the appearance of a narrative film, and one of the first to direct such a feature film was Alice Guy Blache.
Or whatever his name is.
No, it's a girl.
Oh.
For over a decade, Guy Blache, Alice type one each, was not only the first female director, but likely the only female director. Born Alice Guy in France, she started as a secretary for a company that manufactured cameras and photography supplies. The business changed hands and came under the leadership of Léon Gaumont. In 1896, Alice, then Gaumont's secretary, convinced him to let her film a movie with the story The Result of La Fille à Choux. The fairy
God bless you.
The Fairy of the Cabbages.
God bless you, by the way.
Yes, thank you. An 1896 version doesn't exist anymore. Alice remade it in 1900.
A little early.
And 1902, but there are records and newspaper stories that attest to her original accomplishment. She was named head of production for Gaumont's film studio and was responsible for hundreds of other features. Guy married a cameraman named Herbert Blache in 1907, and the two moved to America and founded their own company, Solac Studios, in New York City. As director, writer, and producer, Alice Guy Blache was responsible for around 1,000 films, but few of them survive today, and none of them you've ever heard of. Moving right along.
Number 5, Bathsheba Spooner. Oh, let me get past the ads here. Not all female firsts are positive, as we've already witnessed by some of the other people in the top 10 list. Some, like that of 18th century Massachusetts wife Bathsheba Spooner, are notorious. On July 2nd, 1778, she became the first woman to be executed in the United States of America following the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, you know, in just a couple days before Baron von Steuben released the Blue Book. Anyway, go ahead.
Bathsheba plotted to kill her husband, Joshua Spooner, with the help of 3 soldiers, otherwise known as Jody 1, Jody 2, and Jody 3. She was having an affair with them. Damn, I'm good.
Dun, dun, dun.
A 16-year-old
Bye,
named
Bill
Ezra
Gammon. Bye, Bill
what?
Gammon.
A 16-year-old named Ezra Ross. Wow, Jody was young back then. After she became pregnant,
She was
Bathsheba.
young back then?
Well, that 16-year-old soldier named Ezra Ross.
Okay. They were young back then.
They were young back then. Jody was young back then. After she became pregnant, Bathsheba knew that her husband would soon discover her infidelity. No shit. So she urged the young soldier to poison him.
And this was the first documented case of Jody trying to take the husband's life.
I believe in modern times we call that douche. Initially, Ross agreed to do the deed, but backed out at the last minute because he's a puss. Oh, no. This prompted Spooner to enlist the aid of 2 British deserters, William Brooks and James Buchanan. They attacked her husband on his way home from the tavern. Whoa, fuck. This is deep. Ross then helped them dispose of the body in a well. The crime was discovered soon after, and all 4 were sentenced to the gallows.
Ooh.
His history's portrayal of Bathsheba Spooner has fluctuated. Sometimes she was seen as a cold-hearted, manipulative killer. Other times she was regarded as a desperate woman trapped in a loveless marriage with an abusive man. Some, like her defense lawyer and future Attorney General Levi Lincoln, argued that Spooner was a woman with a disordered mind.
And this is exactly why that chick, the school teacher, Susan Smart, well, whatever the hell her name is never getting out of prison.
Otherwise known, disordered mind, also known as bitches be crazy.
Number 4, Sophie Blanchard. On November 21st, 1783, Jean-Francois Filatre de Rozier, what
God
the
bless you.
fuck is with all these names? And Francis Laurent de Laurentiis. Hey, listen.
You trying to make them Spanish or French?
Yeah, right. Jean-Francois Filatre de Rozier and Francois Laurent de Laurentiis made his first manned. Wait a minute. I thought this was supposed to be about fucking women.
Why is it a manned balloon flight?
Right? Made the first manned balloon flight, thus triggering the start of humanity's obsession with flying through the skies. This led to a period of time dubbed Balloonomania.
Is that like Lollapalooza?
Yeah, something like that. And the 2 daredevils were soon followed by another pioneer. Among them was Jean-Pierre Blanchard and his wife Sophie.
I'm impressed. You're the more you drink, the better your French accent.
Blanchard made his first successful balloon flight in 1784. He married Sophie 2 decades late. 2 decades later. Holy shit!
Take your time, why don't you?
Right? Hey, when you guys get married? Oh,
Half past never.
we're not ready. Give us a couple, like 20 years or so.
Give us a couple decades.
And the couple had their first flight together soon after. Jean-Pierre died in 1809 from injuries sustained from a fall from his hot air balloon.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Sophie Blanchard continued flying solo after his passing, thus becoming the first professional female balloonist.
Wait. Was that the first female who was recorded in history to be full of hot air?
That was a good... She wasn't the first woman to ride in a balloon, as that distinction most likely belongs to Elizabeth Thiebel. However, she was the first to pilot her own craft and undertake the practice as her profession. Sophie won the favor of Napoleon and King Louis the 18th.
I had to do the math really quick, too.
And both bestowed upon her official appointments related to aeronautics.
Sweet.
She became widely popular throughout Europe and drew large crowds each time she made an ascent. Blanchard was responsible for another more tragic milestone when she became the first woman killed in a hot air balloon.
Oh.
Well, you know.
It happens.
And they have documented that right here. On July 6th, 1819, she took off over the Tivoli Gardens in Paris, and her balloon caught on fire. It was probably from the fucking nasty smell and stench that was coming from the Paris floors. Caught fire. The circumstances are not exactly clear, so they say, but I'm pretty sure I just gave you the reason. Her craft
Case
struck
closed.
Her craft struck the roof of a house, and Blanchard was thrown to the ground below. She was either killed instantly or died soon after. They're not sure.
I love how inconclusive the end of the story is.
They knew everything else. They knew that her balloon caught fire. They knew that it hit a house. They knew she fell.
And she was thrown to the ground.
We're not sure if she died immediately or if she died soon after.
We shouldn't be laughing at this, but here we are.
Yeah, we should. This shit's fucking hilarious. All right, moving right along. Number 3.
Like Amanda Melton said, hold my beer. Number 3, Aloha Wonderwell. Aloha Wonderwell earned monikers such as the world's most widely traveled girl. I need to drink more. And the Amelia Earhart of the open road. She is recognized as the first woman to drive around the world. Huh? Her life was full of thrilling adventures, constant novelties, and even a puzzling murder mystery. Born Idris Hall in Winnipeg, Aloha had the yearning for excitement from a young age. In 1922, the 16-year-old saw a wanted ad in a Parisian newspaper. It was looking for a beautiful, brainy young woman who wasn't afraid to rough it on an expedition throughout Asia and Africa.
Oh, Jesus. And that's how the first ad for Pornhub was fucking established. Okay, so in 2019, it's a black couch. In 1922, it was an ad in the Parisian newspaper.
According to the ad, she would
What
have
plugs
to
for everyone?
Oh my God, Bulldog, you're not going to believe the sentence I'm about to read. According to the ad, she would have to work in front of and behind the camera.
See, told you. I told
So
you.
she was producing her own porn? This was Aloha's dream job. Oh my God, I'm not going to make it through this article. So she joined the expedition. It was a round-the-world endurance race organized by one Walter Wanderwell. The plan was to drive as much as possible in a 1917 Ford Model T. Funding came from filming and screening their travels as well as giving lectures. It's a good thing they had a lot of funding because God knows if you got a Ford, you're going to be fixing it. The expedition made its way through Europe, then into Asia, through India and China. On its way back, it crossed the USSR, or Russia for those of you who live under a rock.
Back in the USSR. All right, anyway. Yeah.
You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Afterwards, the team flew to Africa. Do you think the car flew with them? And traversed the continent from Cape Town to Cairo. Walter and Aloha married during this journey. Fools. Walter Wanderwell was killed in 1932 aboard his schooner in Long Beach. He had a shady past, so there was a list of suspects an arm long. Are we talking a baby arm or an adult arm? But nobody was convicted of his murder. Aloha eventually remarried and continued her globe-trotting ways. I'm going to start whistling now. Adding North and South America, Australia, and Indochina to the list.
Wow. That's something. That's something. First of all, I'm surprised they would let a woman drive. I mean, they still haven't perfected that shit, and it's 2019.
So?
Number 2, Harriet Quimby. Harriet Quimby was a pioneer of aviation who was responsible for multiple firsts in that area. Her crowning achievement took place in 1912 when she
Wait, let me guess. She was flying an airplane and making a sandwich at the same time.
She was the first woman to fly over the English Channel. That's not that impressive. I mean, people swim that shit. Her success was greatly diminished in her terms of media attention, however, due to unfortunate timing. Born in Arcadia, Michigan. Hey, this is the first fucking American.
Yeah.
Quimby joined the Aero Club of America and became the first woman to obtain a pilot's license in the United States. She proved to be a popular attraction and drew large crowds whenever she took to the skies. When she wasn't flying, she had a fruitful career as a Hollywood screenplay writer. She wrote 7 scripts and were turned into movies directed by D.W. Griffith, and even had a minor role in one of them. In 1912, Harriet wanted to fly across the English Channel. On April 16th, she took over from Dover and landed in Calais after a 59-minute flight. Well, of course. I mean, fuck. I mean, you think, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to say it because it actually says it right here. Harriet Quimby was the first woman to perform this feat, and at a time when the public had a great interest in aviation stories, yet her flight received very little attention because the newspapers were covering something a little bit more important. You know, just the day before her little successful flight, the Titanic sank. So it grabbed up all the fucking stories.
So it's kind of like when Farrah Fawcett died, everybody was all sad, and then Michael Jackson died and forgot about Farrah.
Farrah Fawcett died?
Yeah.
Oh.
Really? You didn't know that?
Nah, I don't really
It was
care.
like the day before or the day Michael Jackson died.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
And that's why you didn't know about
I
it.
don't care. Michael Jackson's dead?
Number 1. I hope I say this right. There's lots of French shit in here. Jean Barrette. In the mid-18th century, scientific voyages of exploration were very popular. Consequently, King Louis XV of France tasked Admiral Louis Antoine de Bougainville with the first French circumnavigation of the globe. He set off in 1766 with 2 ships, Baudouise and the Étoile.
Étoile.
Yeah, that.
Étoile.
It's sad because I took 3 years of French in high school and I don't remember half my pronunciation. He had a large crew of over 300 men and
Hold on. Joe Cayley said, woman flies, no press. Dude sinks, gets all the press.
Unbeknownst to everyone, one woman, Jean Barrette, disguised herself as a man and became the first known woman to circumnavigate the Earth. Did she really? If she was disguised as a man? There was one person who was aware of Barret's true identity, Philibert Commerson.
What did she identify as?
Well, a man for the expedition. How do you get to change what you identify as? That's what I want to know. The expedition's botanist was this gentleman, Philibert Commerson. The two of them were lovers.
Dun, dun, dun. He was gay. Oh, wait.
And Barrette came along as his assistant. Although the duo had their own private cabin, rumors still spread that Barrette was in fact a woman. De Bougainville noted in his journal that the valet had a beardless chin and a soft voice and was in the habit of never undressing or peeing in front of others. Well, that's good because most people aren't in the habit of peeing in front of others. Eventually, Barrette came clean to the captain. The ships reached Mauritius, where the Commerson realized that his friend and fellow botanist Pierre Poivre was the governor. The two left the expedition and stayed on as his guests. Besides sailing around the world, Barrette also helped Commerson with his botany work. However, the naturalist was in poor health and died a few years later. Eventually, Barrette married a French officer and returned to France sometime in 1775, thus completing her circumnavigation. That was the lamest one.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It was actually a sad ending to very interesting articles.
So, I just want to throw this out here, and this is not to be insulting to women anywhere. But as you can see, that even your most exciting first feats hail in comparison to the amount of sandwiches that you can make.
Oh, Kitty, hi.
No,
What are you doing?
that it's pretty funny though that they're like, oh yeah, she was the first woman to do this. Her husband did it for many, many years.
I know, right?
Then he died, so she just kept doing it.
So she carried on his legacy.
Wow.
There you have it, ladies and gents. Our top 10. Dean Cerny says only parents and pet owners pee in front of others. Uncle Si says I pee in front of everyone. Anyone.
Oh boy. I have to laugh
And he
at some of the
needs a
ways
sandwich
these
now.
stories ended, right?
Absolutely.
She was the first. I mean, realistically, that chick that died in the fucking hot air balloon was not only the first woman to fly in a hot air balloon, she was also the first woman to fall out of one and die either instantly or sometime after.
Right. Absolutely.
Jesus. Some sad, sad, sad shit. All right. So, you know what time it is. It's time
Party
for
time?
Florida Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got a schload of articles
I
that
have
could
a
probably take us till
schload, too.
10. We might, we may actually have a few of the same.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Do you want to go first?
Surely. Hold
Good.
on, let me
Why
let
don't
me
you
get
go first and stop calling me Shirley?
my bad. So let me get this. Hold on, let me get this loaded up here. Tuffy sure is being a sweetie. Ready, saying. Quit being a bitch.
Oh my
computer.
God! If you don't
Here
hurry
we
up,
go.
I'm going.
All right, I got one. Quit your bitching. All right, this one is from Haines City, near Miami.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Haines City. What?
Police officers have to worry about people driving under the influence or boating under the influence, but now they'll have to look out for those lawn mowing under the influence.
Oh shit!
Yeah, doesn't everybody get drunk while they cut their grass? One Florida man was charged with DUI, or in this case, an LUI, after he allegedly drove his lawnmower into a police car while drunk. I love this guy. I want to party with this guy.
Judy,
Yeah.
we did this story the last time we were on air.
Did we?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
You suck.
Next, moving along.
Hillsborough County, Florida.
I've slept since then. Are you
Where-
kidding me?
I just brought this story up, and before I even get into the story, I feel bad for you fuckers in Florida. Because this is a live feed of the Fox 10 fucking story, okay? And it says up in the corner that it is 106 fucking degrees.
Oh, yuck. With like
Hillsborough
11% humidity.
Hillsborough County, Florida. The story was sent to me by Dean Cerny, and it covers our first Florida man story of the night because it actually happened today.
Oh, as opposed to the last time we were on?
9:37 a.m. this morning, updated at 9:40 a.m. this morning. A Florida man was arrested after cocaine was spotted on his nose during a traffic stop.
I have this one.
On Monday, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office reported deputies performed a traffic stop on a vehicle where 20-year-old Fabricio Torres Jimenez was the passenger. One of the deputies immediately noticed that Jimenez had a white powdery substance on his nose, which she recognized to be cocaine. Whoa.
Whoa. Sure,
How
it
do you
wasn't
know
baby
it's
powder?
fucking cocaine?
I mean, it is Florida. It's 105 degrees with 11% humidity. Maybe it was baby powder.
How do you know it wasn't fucking
Talcum
donut
powder.
dust? It could have been donut dust. He just ate a donut. And why is this fucking police officer so fucking good at identifying cocaine unless she's doing it herself? Jimenez's nose was swabbed, and the test reportedly yielded a positive result for cocaine content.
No way.
Jimenez was searched for cocaine, and cocaine was found on him. Deputies also located a backpack that contained, ready for this? 250 grams of marijuana and 13 Xanax pills.
He was looking for a good time. Terrell Gould says it's powdered sugar.
Despite their findings, deputies said Jimenez said the cocaine on his nose was not his. He was arrested nonetheless.
Someone put it on my face. It wasn't
no,
me.
that blew on me. Like that chick that had cocaine land in her purse. It wasn't hers. It blew in there.
Those aren't my pants.
Those are my pants. Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Next Florida man story.
I really hope we didn't do this one already. I don't remember. Maybe we did. I hope we didn't. A road crew and oh, shit. I'm laughing too hard already. I'm laughing too hard. A road crew in Florida should get an F for spelling. A motorist spotted an error, realizing that workers in Doral had made a mistake when painting the word school at a pedestrian crossing in the road. Instead of the letters SCHOOL, it was spelled SCOHOL.
Hey.
The city tweeted that, of course, the person who saw it took a picture of it and posted it online. The city tweeted that the private contractor has now corrected its work and they are going back to school for some remedial spelling training. It's not a good thing when you misspell school. It's not a good look at all, said one resident. My buddy pulled it up on Twitter and saw that someone had misspelled the word school, and we had to come see it for ourselves. You know you got nothing going on in life when that's the most exciting thing that happens throughout your day.
Wow.
That's actually kind of sad. I'm a little sad for them.
I am too. Now, I'm going to tell you, Judy, that was good. That story was good. But this next one is very sad.
Uh-oh.
Okay? And it's not sad because of the story, but it's sad that the Florida man is infecting other parts of the country.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
That doesn't sound good.
It's not. A Florida man who allegedly stole a car, killed a dog, and possibly chickens, and chased a man with an axe was found naked in a chicken coop Thursday. John Maney, 25, of Sarasota, Florida, was arrested Tuesday after New York State Police responded to a call about an Audi parked facing the wrong direction on Interstate 81, roughly 3 miles from the Pennsylvania border. Investigators discovered the vehicle was reported stolen in Sarasota. Maney had allegedly been driving the Audi when he crashed into a guardrail. He then tried to hop on the back of a van, failed, then jumped onto the back of a pickup truck before the driver pulled over, allowing Maney to flee into the woods, police said in a news release. A search by the state police and the Broome County Sheriff's Office ensued, and later that day, state police received a call from a man who came home from work and found Maney in his chicken coop. Maney, when asked what he was doing, allegedly said he was killing chickens. State police said Maney chased the man with an axe, rode off after stealing an ATV, which he later abandoned. Soon after, authorities said they received another call about a naked man in another chicken coop, which
Florida
was,
naked
guess
man?
who? Guess who it was? It was John Maney. Where, guess what? His little debacle ended. He was then arrested. The 25-year-old was bitten by a police canine officer in the process.
Oh, bark, bark.
Yes, and if you really read that the way it's written, it sounds like the 25-year-old was bitten by a police canine officer, not the actual dog.
I know, right? I'm like, he was bitten by a dog, right?
Right.
I was like, maybe I'm slow because I've had a drink. No.
Authorities later found out that Maney allegedly broke into a home amongst all these other great accomplishments and killed a family dog.
Oh.
He was transported to a hospital for treatment, booked, and remanded at the Broome County Jail on no bail. Now, what I think needs to happen in these situations is what happened down there in fucking the Dominican Republic. If you saw the police image, the arrest image of the individual that shot David Ortiz, the dude was beat to a pulp.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
yeah,
he did not escape the fucking bar. When he went in and shot David Ortiz point blank, everybody around him jumped on him and beat the piss out of him.
Yeah,
so
he had it
that's
coming.
what should have happened to this guy.
Absolutely.
Oh, you killed someone's dog. Punch 1.
Yep.
You were naked in a fucking chicken coop. Punch 2. You were naked in another chicken coop. Punch 3. You abandoned a stolen vehicle. Punch 4. Moving right along.
Moving right along.
You gotta have more Florida.
Pinellas Park, Florida. A Florida man is accused of pouring ketchup on his girlfriend while she slept shortly after the couple argued Sunday, according to court records. Peter Jacob Wagman, 37, was charged with domestic battery and pleaded not guilty. He was released from the Pinellas County Jail on Monday, according to court records. According to a police report, Heather King woke up shortly before 5 a.m. Sunday at her Pinellas Park home and discovered she was covered in ketchup, allegedly poured on her by Wagman, her live-in boyfriend of 11 years, who was cursing at her.
Well, there's no wonder they're not married.
Yeah, right? Sounds like a meaningful relationship. Earlier, the couple had argued about infidelity. I'm curious who was being accused of.
Right.
Who's the Jody and who's the Joder?
Was it the ketchuper or the ketchup-y?
That's what you get. And of course, in parentheses, it just says expletive. We're going to assume he meant bitch. Wagman allegedly said, according to the report, Wagman told police he did not pour ketchup on King, but police said there were traces of the condiment on his pants.
What when they believe somebody has shot somebody, they do a fucking they do the test to see if you fired a weapon. So in this case, they were like, check his pants. If he's got ketchup on, if there's ketchup on there, he's guilty. If there is no ketchup, you must acquit.
Right. If the pants don't fit, you must acquit.
Oh boy.
According to Pinellas County court records, I can't. Wagman is not allowed to have contact with King in person or through social media or electronic communication, and they are also coincidentally not allowed to share French fries. Those aren't my pants! Fuck. I just want to know how that's considered battery.
Maybe she has a fucking ketchup allergy.
Oh, well, could be. She's allergic to maters.
Maters. Sarasota, Florida. A charter boat captain was arrested on Sunday, June 4th, sometime around then. Accused of getting intoxicated on his boat, which I believe is not a crime, firing a handgun, and refusing to return his passengers to shore. That might be an issue. Shortly after midnight on June 2nd, Sarasota police and the U.S. Coast Guard responded to 2 Marina Plaza in Sarasota after receiving calls from passengers aboard a charter ship saying the captain, 36-year-old Mark Bailey, was intoxicated, had fired off rounds from a handgun, and was refusing to bring them to shore. When Bailey docked his boat, he was detained as police spoke with witnesses. Bailey's first mate told officers that they seen the captain drink an unknown number of beers. 3 witnesses gave similar statements, while one added Bailey had also been drinking rum. Well,
yeah.
What good captain wouldn't be drinking rum?
I was just thinking the same thing.
According to police, 2 passengers also attested that they witnessed Bailey snorting cocaine. Well, alrighty. So that was great. The first couple hours of the boat was fantastic, said Christopher Gouffre,
you think?
a passenger. And then right after we limited out, he started getting, aggressive. The captain's demeanor changed when Gouffre says the youngest in the group, a 15-year-old, got up to get a beer from the bucket. And the captain said, "Whoa! You can't grab no beer!" And the teen thought he was joking and took it anyways. After all, it was his dad who bought the beers in the first place.
Of course, why not?
So this motherfucker was taking someone else's beer. That's fucked up. The captain followed him down the ladder. Wow. Followed him down the ladder, got aggressive, pushed him, choked him, ripped off his chain. The boat passengers de-escalated the situation, but 30 minutes later, they say Captain Bailey asked Gouffre to come to the flight deck, only to tell him, "I have a 9mm on board, bitch."
Wait. He was yanking his chain?
Yeah. "I could shoot you guys all in the head and leave you out there if I wanted to. Not if you were in California, because you can only have 4 in the chamber." The boat passengers de-escalated that situation. Wait a minute. You already said that.
That's excellent journalism right there.
Wow. Yeah, they literally posted the same fucking paragraph twice. Maybe an empty threat, Jufrey says he hoped. But regardless, he quickly made his way back down the ladder. About 10 minutes later, I walked out the door, and it's when he used his gun. Shot over the top of the heads with about 6 shots, 7 shots out of his gun. So, wait a minute. If he shot 6 shots, but then shot 7 out of his gun, where did the first 6 shots come from? We'll leave that up to inquiring minds. They all hit the deck, scrambling inside and out of Bailey's way. Hours passed, and at 10 p.m., they say Bailey was driving them in circles at about 50 miles out from the shore. The only thing I was thinking is he was trying to amp or hype himself up so they could get enough courage to come down and do something with the gun. They say Bailey ignored numerous requests for them to return to the dock until he finally agreed, but only after they paid him $1,600 plus tip. Wow. It was unbelievable, said Jufrey. I mean, it was like a movie. At 1 a.m., 19 hours after they set out, what the fuck? The Coast Guard and Sarasota police were waiting at the dock near... Wow, the Coast Guard did a great fucking job in this situation, didn't they? Hey, we're just waiting right here at the dock.
Right.
We're not going to get on our fucking government-issued fucking boat and travel out there and, take care of the situation on the sea. We're going to wait for him to come in. Could have been 19 hours, could have been 23, could have been fucking 72. We don't know, but we were ready. Officers say that they led Bailey to a nearby cruiser and said he was unsteady on his feet. Well, of course he was. He was drunk and fucking high on coke. He was slurring his speech, had watery, bloodshot eyes, and smelled of alcohol. He refused to submit a field sobriety exercise or take a breathalyzer. Officers said Bailey became agitated when he was told he was under arrest and demanded to speak to the supervisor before kicking the rear door of the cruiser. He was charged with boating under the influence and resisting arrest without violence. Wait a minute. He kicked the fucking door. That's violence. The U.S. Coast Guard is investigating Bailey for crimes that took place in their jurisdiction out on the water, including allegations around the use of a handgun and refusing to return passengers to shore. Though he was arrested, he has posted bail, so ABC7 went to his house, called, texted, and given the opportunity to respond, but has not heard back.
Very wow.
Very wow.
How's that? Very wow. There we go.
Very wow.
Oh, I clicked on the wrong link. There we go. Moving right along. Police say a hungry Florida woman put up, and I'll use that term loosely because I'm going to post this in the comments in a minute. Florida woman put up a whopper of a fight when she was denied free French fries at a Burger King in Miami-Dade County.
Oh, no.
Natasha Bagley, who has a long criminal history, is now facing serious charges while her accomplice in the April 2nd incident remains at large. In a court appearance Monday, a prosecutor told the judge that Bagley, 42, and her girlfriend went to a Burger King's drive-thru and asked for free fries, but an employee denied the request.
Wow.
The president went inside to the restaurant to confront the employees, and the argument quickly became physical, according to a cell phone video that went viral after the incident. What's that? The video suggests Bagley's girlfriend started the fight by jumping over the counter and punching the manager in the face after she threatened to call the police. Bagley then jumped over the counter herself and joined the assault, the video shows. Oh, shit. Police are still searching for the girlfriend, identified as Genesis Peguero, according to local media reports. The prosecutor said Peguero also demanded the employees open the cash register, which they refused to do. She then threatened to pull a gun out of her pocket, though she did not display one.
Out of her pocket?
Yeah.
Must be a real small gun.
The video also shows Peguero pushing registers and monitors off the counter before leaving with Bagley in an SUV. Bagley was charged with armed burglary, with assault or battery, attempted robbery with a deadly weapon, and criminal mischief. She has previously been charged with prostitution, battery, first-degree arson, burglary, child neglect, domestic violence, among other offenses.
Where did
So-
the child fucking neglect come from?
I don't know, but what I find interesting is the reporter was even like, there's just too much shit to list, so I'm just going to say among other offenses.
Right?
According to online records on the Miami-Dade judicial website.
Wow.
So they punched the manager in the face, right?
Yeah.
How many times have any of you ordered fast food and wanted to do just the same? Like, please get my fucking order right just this once.
Genesis Hamburglar Procuro. That's great. Joe Cayley got that one. That's great.
So I posted a link in the comments. You can see the woman's mugshot, and I use the term woman very loosely, as you can tell by her mugshot.
Oh boy. All right, so this is going to be the last Florida man story for the night, and this is a quick one. But, you know, we constantly are getting stories of domestic assaults that include food, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to do this one. Zephyr Hills, Florida. A Pasco County man is facing a battery charge after deputies say he hit his mother. The incident occurred around 2 a.m. Sunday at the home in Zephyr Hills. According to deputies, 27-year-old Cody Cummings. Now remember, it said 2 a.m., right? Mm-hmm. So that means this 27-year-old still lives at home with his mother. Threw a corn cob at his mom. The cob hit the woman on the top of her head, the arrest report says. Deputies who responded at the scene said the victim was hurt but did not have any physical injuries. You know, I gotta tell you that I'm hurt. It's not that the injury from the corn really hurt me. It's just I'm hurt that he would waste such valuable food. Cummings left the scene after the incident.
Yeah, grateful little bastard.
But was later arrested and charged with domestic battery. Ready for this?
Sure.
His jail records show he's being held on a $150 bond. Mom said, fuck that shit. This is the last time I cook you corn on the cob at 2 a.m.
I'll bail you
Motherfucker.
out.
Throw that shit at me, will you? Unbelievable.
I'm not wasting all that bail money.
Nope. You stay there.
Okay, I have one more I have to read, and then we can be done.
All right, go ahead.
Palmetto, Florida. This one, Bulldog, you and I have talked about this specific disorder. A Florida woman stabbed herself 3 times in the stomach with a kitchen knife because she is tired of living in Trump's country. Yeah, that's right. This bitch has Trump derangement syndrome.
So bad she fucking stabbed herself.
Yes.
I wish more of them would do it.
I know, right?
No, I
The
shouldn't have said
Smoking
that.
Gun reported that Palmetto woman was found covered in blood Sunday outside of her apartment, screaming, "I'm tired of living in Trump's country. I'm tired of Trump being president." Did this fucking lunatic actually think that if she continued this path that President Trump was just going to resign? I don't get it. You know, like you said, I know it's a terrible joke to make. We're all going to hell for laughing at it. But you know what? If that's how you feel about Trump and you really feel you can't take it anymore, do us all a favor.
Right. Wow.
Oh my God.
So,
Okay.
John Widow sent this story, and it comes out of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
A very short story. It is a very short story. But the local 21 CBS News in WHP Harrisburg says police are searching for 2 men who stole crab meat from the Weiss markets in Camp Hill.
Not crab meat.
And put them in their pants. Then return them for cash.
Wait, crab meat in pants?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so Basically,
crabs?
this is what happened.
So this
Lower
person had
Allen
crabs.
Township police are searching for two men who shoved crabs in their pants and left a grocery store without paying for them. On June 5th at 11:45 a.m., police responded to a non-active retail theft at the Weiss Markets at 1195 Lothier Road in Camp Hill. While there, they reviewed video of two retail thefts and returns committed by the same two men on June 2nd and June 4th. Boy, I gotta tell you, the individual that's in charge of fucking thefts in the store really needs to be fired.
You mean loss prevention?
Yeah, that guy. He sucks at his job. On the evening of June 2nd, a dark-skinned male entered the store with a white male, and they put 2 packs of crab meat in their pants. The meat was valued at $41.97.
That's a lot of crabs.
Yeah. It's not the first time they've had crabs in their pants. The both males left without paying for it. The white male then re-entered the store, returned one of the packs of crab meat, and received cash for it. The two suspects did the exact same thing on the evening of June 4th as well. Both males left the parking lot driving a white Ford pickup truck with a white cab. Anyone who recognizes these two thieves or has any information regarding these thefts is asked to please contact the Lower Allen Township Police Department. I will go ahead and share this story in case any of you fuckers know these guys. Moving right along.
Moving right along. This one was given to us by our HMFIC, George Pardos, and Amanda Melton today. This one's fantastic. A Bronx charter school teacher recruited a student to help him score $4,000 worth of marijuana. And he beat the teen senseless when he found out the kid pocketed the cash.
That bastard.
Kevin Pope, 48, also stole the teen's iPhone and wallet and threatened to sexually assault his mother if he didn't get his money back. I will kill you if I don't get my money, Pope allegedly told the student after pummeling him. Bitch better have my money. I want my money in a month. Pope, a science teacher at the John Lindsay Wildcat Academy in Hunts Point, was arrested at the school Friday morning and charged with assault and robbery in the attack a day earlier. Pope had asked students around the school back in June if they knew a drug dealer, and they put him in touch with the teen who promised he could score a large stash of drugs from his contact in Manhattan. Pope gave the kid $4,000 for the hefty purchase, which was the very beginning of the stupidity of this crime. The identified teen told cops he met the dealer near Central Park, but was told that the quantity of drugs he was seeking would cost $7,000. The student, this is hold my beer, then blew off the transaction and spent the money. 3 months later, shortly after the start of the new school year, Pope found the teen about 2 blocks away and demanded that the money be returned. When the student said it was gone, Pope allegedly socked him in the face. Socked him? Really?
Okay.
Multiple times.
We have an issue. We have a
What?
serious fucking issue right now.
What?
I am down here. I am home alone.
Uh-huh.
My dog is in the cage.
Uh-huh.
And something is going on upstairs in my living room.
Okay. Go
I
take
will
care
be
of that.
right back.
Right on. Good thing I don't have to go to the bathroom too bad. So the student needed 3 surgical staples to close his gashes. To close his gash? Really? That's really what we're putting in this article? Sources said the incident is on surveillance video. Oh, that's even better. The student attends Pope's school, but it's unclear if the teen was in that teacher's class. A Department of Education spokeswoman directs all questions to the charter school, which declined to comment. Pope was awaiting arraignment at the Bronx County Criminal Court on Friday night. I'm willing to bet that teenager had a good old time, and thank you guys for a great
Fucking
article.
Squirrel on the fucking bird.
Oh,
feeder.
well, that squirrel needs to go. Your dog's just doing his job. I just finished my story.
Okay, so this next
About-
story was sent to me by John Widoff. This story is fucking weird.
Excellent.
Peter Fredrickson, 63, a Danish man living in South Africa, arrives in the dock ahead of his bail application. Fredrickson was arrested back in September after 21 mutilated vaginas were found in his home. Really? Nothing?
I got nothing. Seriously, I'm just like, what?
Surgical equipment and anesthetic drugs were also said to have been found in the property. It is believed his wife, 28-year-old Anna Mastilcio Molis, told the police he drugged her, cut off private parts of her anatomy while she was incapacitated. She was due to testify but was gunned down and killed while leaving her house last month. Jesus, what did she have on Hillary? Police believe most of the victims are from the Lesotho area. Fredrickson, said to own a gun shop, allegedly sedates victims before performing the illegal operations, a police statement said. Now, here's where it gets fucking weird. It's not clear if the severed vaginas were removed when the women were alive, or indeed if they would have survived the attacks. Well, I can probably play Sherlock Holmes here for you. Did you have 20 fucking women show up in the emergency room with cut off vaginas?
Or were they at the coroner's office?
Or were they just found somewhere? It's Masilia Langa, the police spokeswoman, said that Fredrickson has kept a very clear and organized record of every body part he has ever removed since his first victim in 2010. The gun shop owner was arrested after body parts were found in plastic freezer bags, confirmed police spokesman Brig Hegwani Madalozi.
God bless you.
Mr. Madalozi said one of the victims alerted authorities and police have since appealed to another one. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Am I a fucking idiot here? It just said...
wait, what?
Did it not just say they're unsure if any of the women, if the women were alive, or indeed if they would have survived the attacks? The next paragraph says that one of the victims alerted authorities, and police have sent appeal to another woman who may have been assaulted by the man to come forward. So there's your fucking answer. Yes, some of them fucking survived, obviously, you fucking dumbass.
Fucking Dean Cerny. I mean, I've been told I can mutilate a veg.
Oh, boy. Ashley Butler said maybe he wanted Arby's, but he was broke.
We have the meat.
Dwayne Wireman, you can't call 911 and say somebody stole my kitty. Larry Malcolm said, eating dinner, thanks, guys.
We always do funny and gross stuff. Sorry.
Hey, there's
sorry,
nothing
not
wrong.
sorry.
Hey, nothing wrong with it.
Sorry, not sorry.
Moving right along. We're running out of time, so...
Two demonstrators who threw a mix of horse lubricant...
What? Horse lubricant? Did you
Why is
really
that a
mean to
thing?
say something else?
No!
Horse lubricant? What the fuck is horse lubricant?
Why is that a thing? Two demonstrators who threw a mix of horse lubricant and glitter at officers in downtown Portland have been sentenced to 5 days in jail in order to perform community service, according to the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office.
What is horse lubricant?
I don't want to know. Is that like Astroglide for Equesterglide? A jury convinced Robert Majur, 28, and Tristan Romine Mann, convicted. Sorry, I'm still wrapped up on this.
Ashley Butler said, "Is it horse lubricant or whores lubricant?"
It's horse, like me, like Wilbur.
Oh, Wilbur.
There you go, the four-legged kind.
Felix Irving, what? Going to Amazon right now.
You know why? Because if it's not on Amazon, you probably don't need it.
Yeah.
So they got 2 counts of harassment, and they were sentenced. The investigation began August 4th, 2018, during a Patriot prayer rally and counter demonstration. Why the fuck is there horse lubricant. Why does that exist in the first place? Second off, why is it at a prayer rally? I don't know if I want the answer to that.
What I want to know is, how do they know the horse wants lubricant?
Maybe he likes to go in dry.
Right? I mean, it's not like the horse can tell you, hey, can you just lube it up a little bit? I mean, wouldn't they just...
Oh, there it is. There it is. I snorted.
You
Everybody
snorted
drank.
a long time ago, Judy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did right at the beginning of the show. I think that's only 2, though.
Yeah.
A witness approached Portland officers and said counter demonstrators had 4 5-gallon buckets filled with an unknown liquid. This comes in buckets?
What do you mean unknown? How did it go from it's unknown to then they're like, oh, it's obviously horse lubricant?
Along with water guns strapped to their backs. Oh my God.
I wonder if they were shooting horse lubricant from the water guns.
You know, if they were needing them because of something behind. The officers approached Major and Romine Man and asked them to remove the lids to the buckets. The officers reported seeing a slimy substance in the buckets and asked the suspects to dump them out. So let me get this straight. You didn't exactly know what it was, but you wanted it dumped on the street.
Right? Yeah. Hey, that's not anything like biohazard type.
Yeah, that's not hazmat or anything, is it? Just dump it out on the ground. Investigators said that the two instead threw the liquid onto the officers, then they ran away. Well, at least it wasn't the byproduct of the lubricant. For the officers, who had just been covered in a substance they didn't recognize, it was a violent and dangerous situation. Oh, but you wanted it on the ground a minute ago. It wasn't violent and dangerous then, huh? It was terrifying for them because they did not know if the liquid was going to hurt them. I can't anymore. The cops are just as dumb. It was later determined that the substance was horse lubricant mixed with glitter. The suspects were taken into custody a short time later. While inside a patrol vehicle, both men attempted to fist bump, according to evidence presented at trial. And that's funny as shit. The jury acquitted both Major and Romine Man on one additional count of disorderly conduct, while Major was also acquitted on one count of a resisting arrest. Along with 5 days in jail, both men were ordered to complete 32 hours of community service and serve 18 months of bench probation, which means no more playing with horse lubricant. Restitution for the city over the damaged police uniforms will be determined at a later date. Really? Really?
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's that danger. But it's really that their uniforms are ruined. I'm pretty sure a box of Tide or a bottle of Tide would fix that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one last story to tell tonight. And let me tell you, Judy.
Yeah.
This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
God.
This is good. Do you know what a voltaic battery is?
Yes.
Okay. What is it? Come on.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm pausing a video because it's automatically loading.
All right. So a voltaic pile, it's the first electronic battery that continuously provides an electric current to a circuit.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. All right. So a 19-year-old boy was admitted to the hospital on Saturday night, apparently because of a domestic accident. The boy had a voltaic battery in his rectum that had to be removed because of the danger that would lead to an even bigger problem. The boy went to the hospital with his father. He had severe pain in the area of the lower abdomen caused by the object that he recognized been introduced voluntarily to give more energy. Yeah. The father explained the boy had spent the whole weekend studying and was exhausted. He read on the internet that a battery could return him to the necessary energy, so he
Wait,
introduced it.
what? Who read? Who? The dad did it?
Yeah, I think he was reading a cruel joke. The doctors proceeded to remove the object. After that, the boy said it was not the first time that he did something stupid. A few months ago, he swallowed an iron bar because the doctors had told him his iron levels were low.
What?
You can't make
what?
this shit up.
I wait. That makes my head hurt.
Yeah, it makes my head hurt too. It's fucking horrible.
So how did we know that this specific type of battery was the kind that we were supposed to shove up our asses?
I don't know, because when it hits a circuit. Ooh.
Or is it that was the only one that we had laying around that would possibly work? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I want answers. John Whittar says must be a Bernie supporter. Dean Cerny says, Bob damn it, Pornhub.
You look hard enough, you'll find it.
Yeah, right.
All right, so
Probably,
we're
yes.
at the end of the show. This was another great Taco Tuesday Eve show. It's great to be back on the air. It's great to see you, all you people here, all you wonderful individuals that make this show happen every week, because if it wasn't for you, we'd be doing it for nobody. So, and it'd be really fucking boring. So here we are at the end of the show, and I hope you all got something from the little educational thing that we started the show with, and of course, we look forward to seeing you all next week. Judy, you have anything you want to close out with?
Just I keep doing what you're doing. We've had a lot of people struggling lately, including some of our own, and we've seen a lot of message exchanges going around and people reaching out, and we're all talking to each other on Facebook, about, hey, who's got this one, who's got that one, let's take care of this one, who's in communication with that one, and I've seen a lot of it lately, and I got to tell you, I'm really impressed. It's like, and I know Threatcon 5 Radio has a little bit to do with this, but it's you guys doing the work, boots on the ground, taking care of each other. We're just hoping that, sharing the message over and over and over again makes people continue to do the good work that they're doing now. So, as everybody's saying here in our chat feed, Chester Layton wants to know more about the batteries.
Now, do these batteries work?
Yeah.
Like, did you get any energy out of it?
There's another one. That's another thing that you can look on Amazon for. Continue taking good care of each other. If you see someone struggling or notice the signs, reach out, and don't wait for them to reach out to you.
Absolutely.
I love you guys.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Well, we love you all. We'll see you guys next week. Good night. We love you.
This concludes our broadcast day.